Hi, I'm Michael Janich. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for Spyderco. We're here at the 2024 SHOT Show, and I'd like to share a couple of our newer products with you. First one up is one that's near and dear to my heart. This is the Micro Jimbo. So the Micro Jimbo, basically, back in 2011, we released the Jimbo 2. So this is a design that I came up with. It's actually the second generation of the Jimbo design. And this one has been a mainstay of the Spyderco product line since it was released in 2011. Basically my expression of a tactical folding knife that also gives you lots of utilitarian applications with the Wharncliffe blade profile. But one of the requests that we had with regard to the Jimbo 2 was that for people who lived in jurisdictions where there was a strict blade length limit, or for people with smaller hands, especially the ladies, they wanted something smaller. So the founder of the company, Sal Glesser, reached out to me and he said, would you consider designing a smaller version of it? And the Micro Jimbo, what I literally did was I took a factory second of the Jimbo 2 and went to my grinder, ground it down, didn't even disassemble the knife, and basically shrunk it down to a smaller size. The reason I did that is what I wanted to do is take what's called the cockpit area, which is basically the dimensional relationships between the pivot pin, our trademark round hole, the stop pin, and the lock face. Essentially all the key characteristics of the mechanical dimensions of the knife. Make sure that all those stayed consistent. And that's very important when you look at the idea of being able to open the knife one-handed, because what you want is a full range of motion of your thumb. You want to make sure that you have a good arc as far as the rotation of the blade. So I wanted to make sure all those relationships stayed consistent. So what this is literally a scaled down version of the Jimbo 2. But in the process, what I also did was I took into consideration some of the feedback we received on the Jimbo 2. I designed this to retain a lot of weight in the spine of the blade, but have a deep hollow grind that gave me a very acute edge. It also gives it a very acute point. For some people, many people who never used the knife, they criticized the point as being weak. They wanted something that had a full flat grind instead of a hollow grind. So I opted for a full flat on the Micro Jimbo. Also, many people are fond of deep pocket carry clips. Well, the carry height of a knife is always going to be, to determine proper carry height, you want to look at three things: the size of the knife, the size of your hand, and the location of the clip on the handle. When you look at these two, what you'll notice is that even though the handle of the Jimbo 2, or excuse me, the Micro Jimbo is smaller, the carry height, meaning the point that this would hang from the top of your pocket, is pretty much the same. So again, what it allows you to do is when you draw the knife from the pocket, it's going to ensure that on that draw stroke, your thumb is positioned close enough to the trademark round hole to open it one-handed. One of the big things I wanted to do with this knife was to make sure that this was small enough in its closed position to fit into a lady's pocket. In my Marshall Blade concept system that I teach, I have many female students, and they struggle with being able to carry something like this because it simply won't fit in the pocket of most ladies' pants or ladies' skirts. This is actually designed to be able to fit into the pocket, be something that's easy for them to carry. So it takes the cutting power of the Wharncliffe blade, that straight cutting edge, and just shrinks it down into a smaller package, but it's also a package that feels very familiar to anyone who's ever handled the Jimbo 2. So that's one of the knives I wanted to talk about. The next one up is actually this one here. This is the Native Chief Lightweight. And this one, when you look at a lightweight knife that still gives you a very nice long blade to work with, this is a really exceptional balance. And this one has an interesting history as well. So when you go back to our Native model, this is actually a Native 5. The Native model goes back again to the late 1990s, but it was one of our most popular models. We redesigned this to come up with an enhanced backlock mechanism. So the backlock is actually cut with wire EDM, so super precise tolerances. And the first version of this that we did was with G10 handles. We usually will kind of sort things out with the G10 handles first, and then we'll make the investment in the molds to do lightweight versions. But in this case, what we ended up doing also was extending this version into a longer one. So whereas with the Jimbo 2 and the Micro Jimbo, we went from large to small. In the case of the Native, we went from small to large. So again, what you'll see is a lot of the cockpit dimensions. The central portion of the knife is exactly the same, but it's been extended along the handle and the blade. And actually the first prototype of the Native Chief was done over 20 years ago. At that time, we weren't pleased with the lock strength that we could achieve for a blade this long. So what we wanted to do is to make sure that we really amped up that lock strength, made the lock as strong as possible. And once we were able to achieve that with the Native 5, we extended that into the Native Chief, made the Native Chief model. So this is the original version with G10 scales. And then the newest one is the lightweight version. This is extremely lightweight, has all the design characteristics and everything of the original Native Chief. But in this case, what you have is a handle that is made from fiberglass reinforced nylon. So it's an injection molded material. It has what's called bidirectional texturing, gives you a very secure grip. In this case, what you have is a tumbled blade finish on a CTS BD1N stainless steel blade. And one of the unique things about this, gives you plenty of room for a large size hand to be able to grip the knife here. If you want to choke up to get more dexterity, it also includes what we call an index finger choil. This 50-50 choil that bridges from the handle onto the blade, allows you to choke up, get your index finger in here, and what you'll notice is there's a section of texture jimping here and here. So again, when you're working with the heel of the blade, doing things that require a lot of control and finesse, it's easy to choke up. If you need more power, you can simply grip back here and use more leverage when you're cutting with the knife. All of these knives have a 4-position clip, so tip up, tip down, left or right side carry. So no matter how you choose to carry the knife, you can set it up per your preferences. On longer knives, in many cases, tip down carry is preferred, because what it allows you to do is to clip the knife into your pocket. When you draw the knife, you can either pivot it in your hand and then open it this way, or many old school Spyderco users, what they'll do is they'll draw the knife, they'll grip the round hole and swing the handle down to open this way, the spider drop opening. Okay, so either one of those works really well with a long handle. And since we're talking about the Native family, I wanted to mention one more thing. This is our first product to be released in MagnaCut. So our first production knife to be released in CPM MagnaCut. So MagnaCut is an extraordinary steel. It's something that achieves a really unique balance of edge retention, toughness, and corrosion resistance. Developed by Dr. Laren Thomas, and we're really proud to include it on this knife. This one is the Native 5 lightweight. And in this case, through our own testing of the MagnaCut stuff, what we found was that it has exceptional corrosion resistance. So with that level of corrosion resistance, you notice the bright yellow handle, we included it in our Salt series. So our Salt series is basically all of our knives that have ultra corrosion resistant materials, so they're designed specifically for use in and around the water. So the Native 5 lightweight Salt in MagnaCut, it's available both plain edge and a fully serrated spider edge blade. And again, this one is related very closely to the Native Chief lightweight, the Native 5. Again, kind of a proud history of this entire family of knives from Spyderco. So that's a few of the new products that we have here at SHOT Show 2024. If you're interested in any of these products, we encourage you to take a look at our website, Spyderco.com. Also, for all the active law enforcement, active military, any veterans out there, any military retirees, we encourage you to go to our website and look at our Op Focus program. So Op Focus, OPFOCUS. What that is our professional purchase program. It's our way of saying thanks for your service. Gives you a great discount. You can buy 10 knives a year at a significant discount from Spyderco. And again, it's our way of saying thanks for your service to our country.